This segment of the Sports Narrative Radio Show is backed by Xena Communications. Internet, Wi-Fi, IT, cloud services, and security cameras. Get connected in your home or office today. Call or click for your free consultation in the DFW area.
He does need 2 cameras. He needs all the cameras on him because right now here on the Sports Narrative Show, we are joined by the pride of East Texas, Stephen F. Austin's own, a 5th-round pick in 1990 by the then Phoenix, now Arizona Cardinals, 3-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, and, hey, how about that Super Bowl ring that he got in 2003 with the New England Patriots? That would be the great Larry Centers. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. How you guys doing today?
Hey, we are doing awesome.
Having a good time,
doing
man.
awesome. Thanks for having us out here. Having a nice little shindig here.
Man, this is my first time at this Twin Peaks, man. This thing is nice.
Yeah, this'll do, right?
All Twin Peaks are nice, Larry.
Yep. Hey, well, I can only speak for the one I'm standing in. but no, I think they all are nice. But this one is super nice. I like the garage doors and things like that. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, this place is super nice, and we're out here for the NFL Players Association. As you are kind of spearheading a group and an effort to get all of these former players kind of together, kind of build that brotherhood of guys that have been in the league who have gone through that grind. And I just want to talk a little bit about what you do as far as trying to help guys out that have been in the league, that have put their bodies on the line, and just help them going forward.
Well, I mean, I have as always, I have very ambitious plans, and sometimes even I don't know if I can get it done or not. But I'm interested in trying to understand what guys went through when they played, how they benefited. I would like for them to share that story as much as possible with young kids and maybe shine some light on their lives and their ambition towards achieving their goals.
Yeah.
And so, I want to tap into that. I know from my experience as a ball player, it's not always easy, just like life. Football is like life, as they say. And you can apply a lot of situations in football to life. Sometimes you got to punt that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying, man. I do know what you're saying. Well, you had an interesting start to your career as you were at Stephen F. Austin, and a broken pinky led you to transition from being a wide receiver to a running back. Is that right?
Yeah, that's kind of the gist of the story. My older brother was a pretty good athlete, and he played receiver at the University of Arkansas. So I thought that it may benefit me to play receiver.
Yep.
I had the opportunity to go play defensive back, receiver, or running back.
Right.
That's what they offered me when they offered me a scholarship. So I chose receiver.
Yeah.
Okay. And in practice one day, as I was diving for a ball, I broke my pinky. Then they put me on scout team as a running back. Well, hey, I get over there, man. I'm like, damn, I see why we losing. Our defense can't tackle.
Nice.
You go out and I'm practicing. Every day was game day.
Yeah.
For me, and I was hungry.
Yep.
I was disappointed that I didn't get an opportunity to go to a 1A school or to a nationally recognized institution.
Right.
But I had a coach in high school that told me, son, if you're good enough, the pros will find you.
There you go. That's Tatum High School, correct?
Tatum High School.
How about that?
The guy who told me that his name was Pat Browning.
How about that?
I love him to death. Hadn't talked to him in a while, but love him to death. He's a friend of my family's, and that one statement, and that is the quintessential example.
Yep. No, you're good. You're good.
Of why it's so important for us as adults to share things with kids that they can use later.
Now, Larry doesn't know this, but he was actually on the field for the very first football game that I was in attendance for, and also the second game I was in attendance for. And I want to ask you about that season, and that was the '98 season with you guys. You guys opened in Dallas, got crushed, unfortunately, but you were able to turn it around there at the end.
Well,
January.
As they say, it's not how you start, baby.
No, and y'all kicked the hell out of us at the end of the season. But I'm curious about that. That's one of those teams, I think, one of those feel-good stories that history's kind of forgotten a little bit. And that was so many struggles for so many years, and I know that was such a important team for that city there in Phoenix, and how you guys rose up against the odds and, ended up finishing that season beating down the big bad Cowboys.
Yeah, and the Cowboys were really big bad Cowboys back then, not the ones we see now.
Oh gosh, come on!
Bam, bam, bam,
bust. That's nice.
But no, I couldn't pass up that opportunity to take that shot.
You got to.
But no, the Cowboys were the team of the mid '90s.
Yep.
For sure, I won't even name names because they had players who did their job and were accountable to the big picture. No one person gets the credit.
I got a good question on that team. I bet you can name this. What was the one guy that when you saw coming on a blitz and you got to protect your quarterback there blocking, who was it that you did not want to see coming around that edge?
In '98?
I was thinking like the mid-'90s, like 94, 95.
Well, first of all, I didn't allow the personnel change, the uniform change standing in front of me to make me deviate too far away from what my purpose was.
All right. Good deal. Well, you weren't in there blocking a whole lot because you were out there catching balls. 827 career receptions, third most all-time by a non-wide receiver, 6,797 yards and 28 touchdowns. In fact, that 95 season.
Greg Lloyd, I'm just thinking.
There it is, Greg Lloyd. There's some names.
Kevin Green.
Oh, Kevin Green going in the Hall of Fame this year, as a matter of
fact. Lawrence Taylor.
Hey, that'll do.
How about just any of the Pittsburgh linebackers? Levon Kirkland.
That thing definitely goes in there because he's weighing about
600 pounds.
290 and with a head of steam.
Yep. All right, so that 95 season, you finished the season against the Cowboys on Christmas night. I remember distinctly sitting there watching that game, watching you get 17 receptions in the game and set the all-time record for receptions, 101 wide receiver, or 101 receptions in a season, 962 yards.
That's false.
Oh. What was that?
I had 12 receptions that game.
12 receptions. I thought it was 17. All right.
And 175 yards. If I might add that.
Now, hey, but there was a record broken that game. If anybody can remember what it was, Larry, you remember what record was broken that game?
I think some guy named Roger Craig lost. Record came off the board.
No, Emmitt Smith, 25 touchdowns, scored twice that game.
That was two records broken that game.
Then what was the other one?
I think the other one was Roger Craig's record was broken.
Was it?
He had most receptions by a running back in league history.
Who broke that record?
It was 92. Some guy out of Tatum,
Sherman
Texas.
Williams?
No, some guy out of Tatum, Texas.
Texas.
Stephen F. Austin, by way of Longview High School for a few years.
Yeah, I was going to say, out there in Longview, too, a little bit.
Was that Larry Centers?
I think that.
Oh, good. Now, okay, I got another question for you, and this one's not as happy as the 1998 feel-good story. And that's just because I remember, we look at these super teams that have become so popular in sports these days. Kevin Durant's going to the Warriors. We've seen the LeBron story, things like that. The Eagles tried it in 2011. What happened with the 2000 Washington Redskins?
Very interesting question. I get it quite often. First of all, let me set the scene for you.
Massive talent on
let me set the scene for you. Dan Snyder had bought the team, as memory serves me correctly, a year before that season. We went to the playoffs in the first year in Washington after beating the 49ers in Candlestick. The next year, Dan wanted more, so he mashed on the gas. He went out, he opened his pocketbook, went out and got Deion Sanders, Mark Carrier, Jeff George, Bruce Smith, Adrian Morrell. Champ Bailey came in that year.
Boy, Adrian
we had
Morrell.
Daryl Green.
That's a name I hadn't thought of in a while.
Adrian Morrell, my dog. We had Brian Mitchell also.
Second season of Larry Centers.
Say what?
Second season of Larry Centers.
Hey, second season I was there, but we had Steven Alexander, who was, awesome player. Brad Johnson, Trey Johnson. And we had a lot of guys that, Corey Raymer, guys that were good players, but we could not coexist as well as efficiently as we needed to.
I mean, is that a testament? Is that 2000 Redskins team a testament to the importance of chemistry, the importance of
team versus
in my mind, absolutely.
talent?
In my mind, absolutely.
Because I know that was supposed to be the 16-0 team.
Well, you know, that's
Got halfway there.
That's all fluff. I mean, you know, hey, a pair of lips will say anything. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's good. All right, I got one more nostalgia thought here for you, Larry, and that is there in that 94 season, you were coached by the great Buddy Ryan, who just passed away
Rest
this
in
last
peace,
year.
buddy. Rest in peace, buddy. I have nothing but admiration, respect, and any other word that I can't think of that means something like those two for Buddy Ryan. Buddy Ryan is a guy who's, you know, he's on your team. You know, he's got your back.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, you got people that you deal with, and you question whether if this stuff goes bad, can I count on that guy right there? You don't have to ask that question about Buddy Ryan.
Buddy was the guy that 31 other teams like to hate.
Hi, man. It doesn't matter. Like, Buddy was like, he had the mentality like 50 Cent. He said, if they hate, then let them hate.
There you go. And you know what? That is a perfect analogy for Buddy Ryan, too. That's exactly the way I would imagine that he was in the locker room. Just, you know, I know Mike Golick is often saying, he's like, the first thing I did when I got on that team is I got into a fight because I knew Buddy would like me then.
Hey, you know, he would let guys fight it out. You know, on most teams I played on, once the little skirmish broke out, the players would jump in. Hey, man, you guys don't do that. Buddy was like, hey, everybody stand back.
Right. Let men be men.
There you go.
Right.
There
you
it
go.
is. All right.
Hey, they were best friends after they fought.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the league today. As today's NFL, man, it's a pass-happy league. I bet you would have been happy to play in these days, right?
Man, I tell you what, I need an asterisk beside all my numbers because they're giving them away these days.
Matt Forte, man, come on now.
Man, come on. Well, you know what? I respect Matt Forte's game. There's nothing hater in me. No hater in me. I congratulate him for being the player he is. Respect his game, but you know, and there's a lot of work that goes in catching 102 balls in a season.
No doubt.
I know that probably better than anybody around here.
You know, that's an interesting thing. We talk about guys that have their records broken. You know, you get up a record and a guy breaks it. I mean, you know what that feels like.
Well,
is that something you're happy with, sad with?
What I take pride in at that point is the parentheses next to my record was how many years I held it.
There you go. That'll do it.
Now, Larry, I'm curious, how do you feel about talking about today's present game, how the game has evolved, and professional teams these days are almost sort of phasing out that fullback position?
Well, I understand, you know, the league is making a lot of changes, and a lot of them are directed toward player safety. I think that is the right way to go. You know, you have to take care of the people who are involved in the game, you know. But I think that we have to ask ourselves the question, how much are we cutting into the game that we love? You know, it's a rock'em sock'em game. It's not a place for women and children.
Right. Yep, no doubt. All right, to that end, you deal with a lot. You sacrifice your bodies in a lot of things, and one of the big issues right now is the difference between, you know, the way they give away painkillers and all that kind of stuff versus, you know, a guy like Eugene Monroe that's saying, hey, let these guys smoke weed. What do you think about that?
Let's see. I don't know. I mean, everybody's got an opinion these days. I think I'm a live and let live type of guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? As long as you don't bring it across my property line.
There you go. That's a good answer. Now, the painkillers, was that something that was just prevalent? I mean, there's reports that's just sitting out there in bowls. Just grab what you need.
Man, look, you know, I was doing an evaluation. You know, there's a lot of being talked about concussions and memory loss and all that. I was baffled by a question one of the doctors asked me. They said, Larry, when did you stop remembering? I said, I don't remember.
That's a good answer.
Oh, I forgot.
Now, Larry, you were just talking about some of the steps that have been taken for player safety and things like that. One of the evolutions of the game since you've left has been the weekly Thursday night games, which a lot of people have debated whether that 3 days rest is enough to consistently do. How would you have felt playing in a league that had weekly Thursday games?
I've often thought about that. Interesting you would ask that question. I think the game is becoming more and more of a younger man's game. It's a young man's game already, but playing those Thursday games makes it a younger man's game. The difference in my first 2 or 3 years and the difference in my last 2 or 3 years was simply that I did not recover from injuries as fast.
Yep.
The older I got, the longer it took to recover, to be ready to be game ready for the next one. So when you play those Thursday games, you're looking at 4 days worth of rest, and that's just in some cases based on certain injuries. That's just not enough time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things you see in the league, and you see guys that say, they're using steroids or supplements or whatever the case may be. They're using it to recover. Do you think they should be able to?
No.
I agree.
There we go. Now, how much can be done right now with the concussion issue that the league is facing?
How much about what?
How much can they continue to do? How much more can they change the game to enhance safety? Have
they
done everything they can?
Well, that kind of goes back to my earlier statement in that, where we draw the line of how much we cut into the game we love for the safety of the participants is going to be the ultimate answer to your question. Okay, we got to figure out, if they want to stop helmet to helmet, that's real easy. Take the face mask off.
Now, would you let your own children play football these days?
If they wanted to.
You'd be okay with that?
If they wanted to, yeah. I'd even let my daughters play if they wanted to play.
All right, so we're sitting here with Larry Centers here on the Sports Narrative Show, and
I got me a little inquiry here.
Yeah, go for it.
Your all too brief time up in New England.
It seemed like a long time to me.
It seemed like a long time. Now,
with no ring?
I was actually
I
was living right outside of Foxborough that year when they won that Super Bowl. It was Carolina, right?
Yes.
Carolina. What was your time in New England like to you?
Man, I liked it, and I was thinking about that on my ride over here tonight. I've taken lessons from every season and most of the relationships that I built while I was a player. I've taken lessons from it. My time there was in stark contrast of most of the earlier part of my career. I played on a lot of bad teams. I know I could tell when the wheels were coming off in a season.
Sure.
Okay? I could tell. I can tell good coaches, people who are accountable and to their positions or responsibilities. I could tell people who were not getting it done. What I took from that season was we were all connected to one end, one goal. We were unified, and that's how teams win. That's the most special thing about being part of a team, is that you're playing for the guys on your left and your right, and you're loving on each other.
Right.
That America needs to take a page out of the book of a locker room or a Super Bowl team.
Well, isn't that the truth?
Hey, I'm just.
No, you're right.
If I don't tell the truth, sue me.
And so what you're saying, the culture there.
The culture is
very
about
different.
us.
It's very different than some of the other teams you played on.
Well, I can say that it was different. And winning, through my experience, cures a lot. It cures a lot of ails when we are all doing well, when everybody's getting what they need, and you can't have a relationship where one person is getting everything they need and the other person is not getting what they need. That doesn't work.
Right.
You got to find a way to have respect for one another. Hey, I got Tom Brady sitting there. I got Teddy Bruschi sitting here. I got Mike Vrabel, Kevin Falk, Willie McGinnis. I'm gonna show them respect. I want to win. I want to win this thing for them, almost just as much as I want to win it for me.
And that's
what you.
That's
did.
the brotherhood.
That's the brotherhood, though.
Yep. You ever thought about coaching?
Yep. Then I stopped thinking about it.
That's work, right? That's hard work.
Yeah, man, that's a day job.
I'm telling you. All right, last question for you here, Larry Centers. All-pro fullback. You still a Cardinals fan?
I tend to appreciate players and styles of play more than I group any team together.
Right.
And I understand, based on my experience, what it takes for a team to be a good team, and how a player is supposed to play the game.
And to that end, are you watching that? You seen that Amazon series, Amazon Prime, the All In behind the Cardinals?
I haven't watched it.
It's interesting. I mean, it's, all right, so let me ask you this. Back in your heyday, if you were on a Hard Knocks show where they're all behind the scenes and whatnot, what would we know about Larry Centers that we don't know right now?
Oh, that I was in it to win it.
You were fired up, huh?
No, I ain't say fired up. Don't put words into
All
my
right,
mouth.
all right. That's
I
good.
said I'm in it to win it. I mean, I come to work every day, baby. I bring my hard hat. You know what I mean?
That's good.
I bring my hard hat, and you ain't got. When you start thinking, when the question comes up, is Larry Sanders going to get his job done today? I want to go to the next question.
There you go. Nothing, no better way to end it than that. Thank you, Larry Centers. We appreciate you.
Yes,
a
sir.
man who gets a job done out here for the NFLPA. Come out and join us out here at Twin Peaks. And thank you, sir. We greatly appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, guys.
All right, there he goes. There he goes, Larry Centers.
Find more by subscribing to this channel and visiting us at www.thesportsnarrative.com. Join us every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Central for a live edition of the Sports Narrative Show, brought to you by Xena Communications and G&K Services.